listening to Our World, Our Power with Lady Pauline and our Honorable Mayor of Sutton Boulevard, Mr. Glenn Greenwich, my partner. And we have on right now Alvin Hartley from his business. Alvin, tell them about your business and what is it that you do.
Oh, thank you, Pauline. First of all, I'm very always proud to be on the show. We're a full business solution company. We're also a proud company to work with you to handling the marketing and branding of our world. So we're glad and very appreciative to be a part of your family. Right now, we're focusing on several things that Glenn and I was discussing about the challenges that small businesses, especially minority businesses, I know folks don't like to go that direction, but it's true.
Oh,
Uh, Minority
excuse me
business.
1 minute, Alvin. Um, Glenn, your friend is on. Do you see him?
Oh,
Huh.
Hagler.
Mr. Holliger. Yeah, that's James Holliger. Is he on? So it looks sounds like you're mic'd up. Yeah,
Can
Jimmy, can you hear us, Mr. Holliger?
I don't hear him.
No, we don't
He's
hear
not.
him.
He's not muted.
Okay, so he'll speak up.
Okay.
So we've got the insurance companies that are considering because, obviously, they've been saving money, and you've heard the car companies talk about car insurance companies talking about giving back because people aren't driving, so you know, it, there's nobody asking for the money, so they're just sitting on the pot of gold right now, um, and so they've been giving back. So it's an opportunity for the insurance companies to look at how they do business. Again, we've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, month or so. Things are going to change coming out of this. You know, they keep
It's a
calling
restart, Glenn. It's a restart, Glenn.
it's a complete restart.
It
It's a
is.
complete,
And we should not be afraid of the restart, is because it's going to give, even from investors, Glenn. Let's
yeah.
talk about the people, the one percenters, okay? Let's talk about the one percenters. It's going to help the one percenters all the way down to the person that had very little to nothing.
Well, you know
Let's,
something, Alvin. I don't mean to interrupt, but I do. People are scared of change. People, that's one thing the average person does not like change, whether it's for the anything that alters their everyday lifestyle or what they've been doing for X amount of years. It's scary. So I'm worried that people are not really going to bounce back the way you usually bounce back. And it's also because of the changes that's going to be implemented.
Glenn,
Yeah, but
you want to go first, Glenn? Yeah.
yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. In business, if you can't adapt, you're going to be out of business. So businesses more than anything, any other entity, have to adapt, have to change when things change. I'll give you a small point. Smoking. So they said no more smoking in the restaurants. So people then went outside. So they created areas, smoking areas outside for them, so on and so forth. Same kind of thing. I think it'll be a little bit more drastic, but but the idea is that businesses are going to have to adapt and they're going to have to change because otherwise they're going to be irrelevant. And if you're irrelevant, you're not going to be making money for too long, and so you won't be able to pay your bills. Go ahead, Al.
First of all, I believe so much in America. Okay, America will always adapt, and even folks looking at this, especially the black person, when sometimes when black folks says, "Look, this is a wonderful country," other black folks get it confused. And look, this is our country. We've always adapted. African Americans has always adapted. This is nothing new to us. Let's be honest. We had very little. They always took it away from us, and we always had to adapt. Adapting is nothing. My God, look how we're adapting just wearing face masks. Look how we're adapting using a Zoom. Now we got all kinds of crazy parties going on.
I know.
Nothing stops Americans. That is so important that we have to understand. We're not afraid of change. We're not afraid of it. Bring it on. Bring it on. It's because we can survive. It's who's going to play with us so that all of us can survive.
Okay.
That's what I said, from the 1%er all the way down to the person that has little to nothing. We are going to survive. And as Americans, we party hard. Survival is in our blood. And that's why the world loves what we do. Because they said if American can do it, we can do it. And then if it gets down to African American, because we have very little to nothing, if them fools can do it, we know we can do it. And that's what that's about. African Americans and Hispanics and even Asians. All of us in this country have always been at the bottom end. And we've taken a chicken bone and made it into a cuisine.
That's true.
This is nothing for us. This is us to be better at what we do.
Is Mr. Hagler on?
Heiliger.
Hagler.
No, I don't see.
I see his name is up, but I don't see him.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Well, yeah, go ahead.
something I wanted to ask on what your feelings on besides business. This 6 feet distance, right? I did not realize that the virus had eyes and a dimension as to whether you're 6 feet in front of somebody, 6 feet behind somebody, 6 feet to the side. I mean, if you're 5 feet 8 distance away, how are we going to get back to anything that's normal, semi-normal? Because this is something new. People are not going to like that they have to stand in all this distance, especially minorities, as we know. We're not going to take that too well.
Well, the 6 feet, you got to be real clear about that. The 6 feet is the in the perfect environment. It does not include wind. It does not include you're on a bicycle or motorcycle and somebody in front of you exhales and you're rushing into it. I mean, so they're all different aspects of it. And so the truth about it is that we got to be protected via face masks and eyes, because those are the 3 areas that can come in: eyes, nose, and the mouth. And so the gloves are to keep us from touching our face. The glasses will keep it out of our eyes. The mask will cover our nose and our mouth. So, but here's the thing. That's what we know right now.
Yeah, but that part that we know right now is how is that going to affect the small business people, like the bodegas, like where I live. People just you just run right across the street to the bodega because you want to get something to eat, right? And how does that affect? Oh, okay.
Go ahead, keep going. I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that's really going to affect the small businesses when, as far as people coming into, the small spaces. And these bodegas are in our neighborhoods. These are not the big supermarkets. These are small businesses that, will fix you a ham and cheese sandwich and stuff like that. Or the very local hair salon or barber shops and stuff that are very local. They're not, big businesses. Alvin, how would you see that we would adapt to that, and how would it affect the economy?
Let's take it in order. You mentioned the bodegas, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's don't go to making the food yet. Why don't we just talk about let's just talk about walking into the bodega.
Okay.
All right, then. That's not going to kill you. You got your mask on, like Glenn says, if you wear glasses, whatever else have you. You walk in the bodega, you pick up what you need, you go to the counter, and you pay for it, and you leave.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not going to be that difficult. Now, if the bodega is fixing food, the bodega has to put something in place that is really, for example, it does not survive if you know how you look through the glass and you can see how your food's heated or whatnot. Let's start there first, right? Well, if everything is made in that environment, that sandwich under those conditions is going to be somewhat to the level of being safe, making sure again that everything is prepared under those conditions. Conditions on how to prepare food is going to have to be upgraded tremendously. Okay, back in the you're normally supposed to wear, how do you say it, the cap on
The
your
hair
head.
net, yeah.
Well, now you're just probably gonna have to wear somewhat of a full suit, whatever else, but it's okay. We'll get used to it. Okay, we'll get used to it. That's not a problem. Here's the challenge: why folks are scared. Let's break it down. I think America will feel much, much more comfortable if we had aggressive testing, so everybody knows what's going on. Let's stay with the basic.
Okay.
Aggressive testing. The government didn't do it. A lot of cases, the government doesn't want to do it, but no one wants to talk about that. Because if you do it aggressively, then you really get to know what the numbers are. Okay? That's number one. So when you got it aggressively, then everyone can step back and say, oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Mm-hmm. 1 week go by. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks go by. Oh, man, I'm here. You follow me?
Yeah.
Because it's like when you get it, oh, Lord, I'm going to die. I mean, there's people that have it. I probably have it. You probably have it. And it's affected us all different ways. But we don't know how many people have it. All right? So that scares us. Going out into the mom and pop stores, the salon you mentioned.
Yes.
I store the salons and barbershop, right? First of all, think about it. The barber needs to get gloves, and as well as the salon, the beautician. She needs to get gloves. Let's start there. If you're going to touch me, you can touch my head, my hand. Just touch me. I don't care how much you wash your hand. Touch me with the gloves. I'm okay with that. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Watch. Now, here's another problem. Because of protective gowns, paper gowns that you can get and put over it, a little bit more expensive, but the consumer will pay for that because, listen, I have to have the garments and the protective material so I don't infect you. So you think about it. You go into the barber shop, he or she, they have their gowns on, and every time you sit, right, they wipe off the chair and they put on a fresh paper gown around you. Now, you're protected from them. They're protected from you.
Excuse me, Alvin. Joey's going to come on in my place for a minute. I have to step away. Hold on a second. Something came up.
She's going for the Budweiser commercial. Hey, is that your phone keep ringing, Glenn?
Well, not this time. Last time it was.
So, Glenn, do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Because there's no, and that's what people are asking. And they say, well, how do we roll this out? If the government would have had put its people in place for the scientists and had a whole business division that can say, okay, this is some of the recommendations we put in place, we suggest for restaurants. This is the material you can get. This is how you can get it, et cetera, and this is what you can do. If you follow this and get this, it can help people, it can encourage people to come in. The other countries starting to do this. Paper menu, you remember? They wash their hands. Okay. You separate the tables. It's okay. You may not get that many people in as fast, but now it's a system that's in place. Am I making sense?
Absolutely.
So it all gets back down to how it's what the state and the government explains to us, whereby at the end of the day, we can say, oh, now I get it. Salons and beauty shops. We ask that you get so-and-so type of gloves, right? I'm just calling it out, Glenn. Okay?
Yeah.
Paper gown, da-da-da-da. If you don't, da-da-da-da-da. Make sure you drape this and drape that. Oh, okay. Well, everybody sees it. I'm following the procedure. If the government says this is a basic way to go, okay. my salons is following the rules of what they put out. That's what everyone's been asking for. Give us guidance. This administration is not doing it.
Yeah, that in fact is the issue.
Hmm?
Is that they're not taking the onus. And I think you started off correctly by saying um, testing. We need to be able to test, test, test,
Test,
test, test.
test.
And without that, we won't know where we are.
No one knows. Everybody is afraid. They're afraid to let people come in their house. I had the cable guy come in because he had to change the router.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, he had to show he showed his ID. He had his mask, gloves on, but then I had to put carpet or, from the door. Thank goodness you didn't have to go any place in the house, all the way to the router. I let the trail. So when he walked on the garments that I put on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
He went right to the router, fixed the router. I made sure I kept my distance, right? I even had my mask on. He did what he had to do, and it's been almost 2 weeks since he's been here.
Oh,
You
okay.
see what I'm saying? So we both took our time, did what we had to do. Okay, he had placed a cable on the arm of my car, on my couch. I said, take the cable off. When he left, I wiped that part down. You follow me?
Yeah.
But my wife is upstairs. I was downstairs. Hey, I like this. But my point of it is, we understand it.
Okay.
Back to you, Glenn.
Joey, there's a couple people, at least one person waiting to come in
Okay.
the waiting room.
Who's the person?
Michelle Keller, and it might be James Heiliger's in there as well.
Okay.
You want to give me co-host?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, there's Michelle
Michelle.
Keller. She's been on before.
Yes, I know she was. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to our world.
There you go.
Hi, Michelle. Welcome to our world. Can you hear me?
She's still connected. Her audio is connected now.
Okay. And Halliger?
I don't see him. Oh yeah, he's in. He's connecting too.
Okay.
So they're both coming in. But you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, we will modify. We will change. We will do we will adapt. We're adaptable people, and it's important for us to adapt here in who we are.
Now,
Mr. Holliger, welcome to the call. Can you hear me?
I can.
Great.
welcome to our world, sir.
It certainly is a heck of a one. This is my first.
Yes, it is. Tell me a little bit about your business. I know you have an associate of a Minority Enterprises. Hello? Glenn, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, maybe he can't hear me.
I can hear you, but evidently you can't hear me.
Oh,
Yep,
I can hear you now.
we can hear you.
Okay. Organization's been around for over 20 years, started by Nat Singleton, a Republican, and Larry Comey, a Democrat entrepreneur. And we have chapter in Albany, Schenectady, and Saratoga.
okay.
We may have one in Rochester. Our primary mission is economic development, capacity building, training, and advocacy. We've been known to do such things as closing down the airport, closing up the Tri-Borough Bridge in order to be able to stay. We created the lending source from school money. None of our contractors have to borrow money from a bank. We take the money from school construction because they've agreed to do that. And that's something we would try to replicate through other agencies because the banks are not making the loans for us prior to this situation for us to bid large scale contracts.
Oh, okay. How is that going to change now with what's going on with the Cobra virus? How's that really going to affect the local, business owners and stuff?
Being black and brown businesses. There's $15 million set aside for training for minority businesses, which does amount to much.
No, it
So,
doesn't.
so we're going to start leaning on the elected officials. Is why is it they did not advocate for our participation as a standalone, as a carve out for our concerns? And one of the things that this epidemic has brought about is it showed that our shortcomings in terms of our daily lifestyle is causing us to be more susceptible to this disease.
Okay. Um, do you think that, well, I should say, what do you see as the solution or one of the solutions?
One of the solutions could be there are small business development centers in every state, and half of the cities here in New York. They have a direct relationship with SBA. If we could form a relationship about various trade associations, black and brown trade associations, form a relationship with the local SBDCs that have direct relationship with SBA to get our loans for that operation. All they need to do is to certify us to do that.
Okay. Now, when you say certify, so everybody that has a business that actually pays taxes and stuff, you're talking about.
Yes.
Because we do have businesses that do not fall under that realm, but they're still, they consider
Get something
themselves.
out.
Yeah.
Mr. Holliger, this is Glenn. Tell us a little bit about the the advantage, because I don't think that people understand the advantage of being an MWBE and what it brings to the table.
Well, the purpose of having MWB designation or certification is a federal and city and state.
You're going out. We're losing you.
There's a federal and city state law that basically says that if you're certified as an MWBE, you're entitled to anywhere depending on your locale of any contracts that are government funded in your district. So if there's $100,000 contract, you're entitled to 30% of that contract, which is a first, which is a first, and it has to be certified every 2 years. But you have to be able to prove that you are legitimate, one, business, and two, African American or Hispanic or Asian.
Now, as I was going back to say is there is a lot of businesses, but they have not registered under those circumstances. So I guess they're out in the cold.
Yes,
No,
they are.
well, they are to a certain extent, but I think that you also there's city, there's state, there's federal, and there's port authority. So you've got several levels of certification depending on what is the best appetite for your particular business. So one of the things that you want to look at is how is your business organized? Now, if you're looking at a concession stand at the airport, then you definitely want to make sure that you're Port Authority certified so that you could work with the airport. If you're in construction, there's certainly construction projects all over. But again, one of the biggest ones that we're fighting for is the JFK redevelopment, the $13 billion upgrade. So when you look at 30% of $13 billion, you're talking about a huge amount of money that's available as a pool of money available for minority businesses. Now, Mr. Holliger, what are some of the frustrations of people who are registered for MWBE. However, but for whatever reasons, don't get the contracts. So there's two sides to every conversation. One is you get registered, and it's not just the gravy train. Once you get registered, there's a gravy train. Would you talk a little bit about what some of the pitfalls that occur?
Normal advisors of the industry as a whole. First of all, when you bid on a contract, I'm using JFK as an example. You bid on a contract out of JFK, developer and a contractor, they're going to look at your doing this work and decide that you bid on. Now, if you have not done a contract for more than $200,000, they don't expect you to bid on a contract for $1 million. You also have to have the scenario where, are you a union laborer or not? If you're not a union laborer, then you have to be part of a project labor agreement to do that, which is a major problem that we generally fight against. I take the position that we're going to work on every project that's in Queens and has government money in it. And it's up to the governor or the government or the agency to cut a deal with the unions to allow us to participate. We're not going to let the work go forward. We've been very successful with that. We got 80% of the jobs that went up the air train came from Southeast Queens. The federal law that says, given the economic development in that particular community, and have first preference for those jobs. And we're implementing that at the JFK now. We did it on the air train. When the air train opened up, we had 85% of all of the jobs.
Okay. Now, Alvin, with your business solutions center, how does all of this tie in and how does it play out?
Hey, James. Hey, James. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm looking at you.
I know. Don't I look good, James?
They told me to get dressed.
They told you to get dressed, James? Go ahead and put on that muscle T-shirt.
Yeah, all right.
So obviously, Glenn says I know you and you worked along with my mother, Miss Justine Brown.
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. To answer your question, 8 years ago, I realized I've been in marketing for a long time, Pauline, and I realized that minority companies have a lot of challenges. Even before getting certified, they have a poor infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, infrastructure means a lot. I'm not talking about Pookie and Nene doing their books. I'm talking about someone legal doing their books. I'm talking about. I'm being honest because
yes, I want you to be honest. Yes.
We understand Pookie and Nene is pretty good counting monies, doing certain things, but not when it comes down when you're going to get a contract. All right, put some money in there so you can have a professional person actually doing it. Second of all, listen closely, and James, I need you to make sure I do this right. First of all, that 15, and you too, Glenn, that $15 billion is not going away tomorrow. It's going to be here for several years. Would you agree or disagree?
Yes.
Okay, watch.
Probably at least 10 to 15, maybe even 20 years.
Now watch this. One of the challenges that a lot of people say in our community, and they don't make it clear to people, first of all, for you to get certified, you have to at least be in business for a year, the minimum for the city, I think now. For the city.
Yes.
Okay. Too often we hear, $15 billion, and I want to get next to it. Dude, you didn't even get yourself an LLC yet. Okay. So why don't we first get you structured? Because you're not going to get that money unless you're structured. Now that you're structured, all right, see if you can work with somebody in that area, whatever area it is, subcontract, sub, whatever it is, to get paid some money. It's going to take you a year to get it together. The money's not going anyplace, but you built up the infrastructure. Now, once you built up that infrastructure, now you're not only applying for the city, but you can be grandfathered in to the state. Now, if you're grandfathered into the state, when you go and fill out for the Port Authority, you kind of got all that all wrapped up. Although the Port Authority at least wants you to be to be in business for 2 years. You have to build this stuff, but it doesn't mean you still can't make a living. So until we're honest with ourselves in the community, said, listen, this is going to be a year or 2 years. If you can't wait, you ain't getting the 200,000. You're not getting the 500,000. So you need to stop that. Start first in structure and build yourself slow. Now, James, did I say some of that right?
All of it.
Okay.
See, what I also entrepreneurship.
James, we lost you. James,
And they think it's going to come to them automatically.
we lost you, James. Can you try it again?
We lost the first part of that.
Yeah, James.
Your business has to be properly structured from day one.
And when you say properly structured from day one, that means, of course, as you said, you either are a LLC or an Inc. No? What else is besides that?
I can answer it. Or Glenn, would you like to answer it?
Well, we could. So having one thing is having the right business structure for the type of business you have. Absolutely. The other part is, how is it organized? How have you set up your future? Do you have all your taxes in order? Do you have the proper bookkeeping and audit process? Because as soon as you ask for anything with government, you've got to have a recent audit. You've got to have bank statements. You've got to have all of the particulars that a thriving business would have access to. You also want to not be hiding money.
Hello.
Which is a classic case that that minority businesses do, is they don't want to pay taxes on the money, so they state what their earnings are so they can keep some of that money. But what happens is, you're now looking for a contract, or you're looking to be bonded. If you got one of these construction contracts, you're looking to be bonded. They're looking for a certain amount of cash flow to occur in your business. So if you've hit it, you're now cutting off your nose to spite your face, because you're not going to be able to go to the next level because they don't think that you can pay it, even though that you can show it, but you haven't shown it.
I love you, Glenn. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you so much for saying that. No, but Glenn, thank you. And James, that's what we need to sit in front of people. We're tired of hearing people coming to meeting and complaining. Quit complaining. Let's get the job done. Do you have your paperwork in order? Yes, but I'm not getting any contract. Well, we need to go in depth to find out why you're not getting that contract. I don't want to hear all you complaining about this. There's a solution. We just got to figure out what the solutions are to get you to the next level. But you cannot sit there and complain that you're not going to get a piece of the pie. I actually filled out online my certification. I was like a kid in candy store. The city, I called the city, they helped me so much. And they were so patient with me. I got excited. I wrote them a letter, said, thank you very much, because they were an advocate of getting me through the system. And they were very patient. So if you're patient, especially when you're getting your city certification, they'll say, you got to get this document, get that document, go back to the bank, get a letter, download this, go find that, take your time, we'll wait. A couple of weeks go by. Hey, are you back? Yes. Do you have this? You have that? And then what happened? I was out at dinner with some colleagues. I saw an email from the city. I'm just thinking a regular update. Congratulations. I'm at dinner and I get a congratulation email that I was certified. that was a change in my life, because I'm like, this is so cool. And I did it on my own because, well, I'm in business solution, but I understand what it took. I would have never gotten it if I didn't file my taxes right.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never gotten it if I didn't keep my invoices right. I would have never gotten it if I didn't have a bank account and knew how to get my bank statements. None of that. I kept good paperwork, and I was blessed to make it through that first phase. Now I'm working on my next. So all of this that you're saying, James, and you're saying, Glenn, we have to be honest with everybody and tell them you can get this. And only if you design your infrastructure properly. Don't be afraid. The government's not going to kill you because you made $500,000. If you got a good accountant, right, Glenn? You can show how you can. There's operational costs, right, Glenn?
That's right. Absolutely.
There's operational costs, and
You gotta
that's
be willing to pay it.
yes, and that's what James and them been out there for years telling folks. James and them been fighting for years out there trying to say, guys, come on, let's get this together. But you can't sit there and complain. And I have a lot of money that I offer minorities. I can't get them to fill out the paperwork.
You lose money on not being able to handle paperwork. I know people that got $1 million contract.
Yes.
Money because they didn't fill out the paperwork. They hired their sister or their girlfriend who don't know how to do the paperwork. Okay, and you sometimes you can make more money than you originally bid on if you can do the paperwork and handle it.
And another thing too, James, you know how that goes. You're gonna laugh at this, Glenn. You're supposed to have a pay system, not the book that you have in the drawer that you want to write paper checks, okay? And then you want to pay everybody cash for the contractors. You try to think of every way around it so you can save a few dimes instead of showing yourself legitimate. So when another contractor come in, you open your books, they see everything, you email them stuff, you give them all the document, contract is signed, and they'll pay you good money.
Well,
So you try to hide money for what?
now, all of that is well and true. I agree with you both 100%. But we all know that there are people that have businesses that are not even registered, not even a real company.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not going to get no work from the government.
They're not going to get anything.
Okay, but there is a lot of them, especially in our community. I mean, there's so many, and I feel for them because they you get the cash, okay. It's not reported on, with income tax or anything like that. So right now, like a lot of people that DJ and do certain work with entertainment, they get paid off the books, So they're very happy to get, okay, a $200 here or $300 here, but now there is no paper trail. So, what happens to them? And those people have families to support. That's one of my concerns.
If I may, I'll let you go first, Glenn.
No, go ahead.
Here's the challenge. Let's call it what it is. Over with, done. Let's start there first. Remember, a bomb was dropped on the country. So let's don't talk about how you used to do it. It's over with and done. Okay? Whatever you did, you just can't go and say, well, I'm sorry I messed up and you guys got to help me. And they're like, oh, well, you're going to have to stand on the line behind the line behind the line. Okay? If we get to you, we'll get to you. But that's the reality. All right?
Correct.
Now, what do you do moving forward? Now that you understand what you did wrong, what do you do now? That's the challenge. I don't want to hear you complaining. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Excuse me. Go to the line behind the line behind the line. I'll get to you when I can. Okay. The people are saying, show me. First of all, get incorporated. I don't know how. Here's where you can go. Click. That's where you can go. I don't have any money. Find yourself $300, $400, $185. Go get incorporated. Go open up a bank account. Now, if you're getting money in, you get $300, at least put 100, 125 in the bank.
Right.
Come on. Keep a track record and keep your expenses. I'm just a DJ. I'm just an artist. I'm just a painter. I'm a contractor. I don't do paperwork. That you need to take yourself out of business.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what people need to hear. Okay.
You're not in the business. You're in a hobby then.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have to be honest.
One of the things that's been real interesting, we just went through this whole cycle of Paycheck Protection Program, PPP. The banks, you're dealing with the banks. So you're dealing with the SBA. You fill out the application with the Small Business Administration. Then you go to your bank and you deal with the bank's application process. Well, guess what? If you didn't fill out your paperwork completely, they put your stuff to the side and moved on to the next application that was filled out correctly. Now, luckily, there's been refunding that's showed up. So as of Monday, they're going to open that back up. But as of a week ago, the $349 billion was all spent, and most of the small businesses didn't get any of it.
It was spent by Thursday. By Thursday, it was almost gone.
Yeah, by that Thursday, it was gone.
But you know what happened? A couple of major companies that they're on the publicly trade, they had to give the money back.
Shake Shack was one of them.
Yep. Ruth, I forgot what it was. There was another major one.
Steakhouse.
Who was it?
The steakhouse. Yes.
Steakhouse, yeah.
House.
Yes. Oh, a whole bunch of them. Give the money back. But understand the second round. Understand. Tell me if I'm wrong, Glenn, because you work in this area. The banks, even the second wave that they're getting, the banks now are really telling you, if you ain't with our bank, we ain't helping you. That's number one. So now I have to go take my money, whatever I got, run to your bank to put the money in your bank. Now, once I've done that, you're still going to say, well, look, you just open up an account and you don't have a credit line with us, so I can't give you money. The banks are not stupid. Let's be honest. The banks are in the business of making money. Okay? No matter what.
Guess what? This is not designed to make them money. Now they are making money on fees now. Let's not be stupid about it.
But the second one said that they can't charge fees. The second one said that they can't charge fees. I was just reading that. Okay? I read something on this next one that came out, they can't charge fees. But regardless, you're right. Even if they're charging money on fees, getting back to what Pauline was saying, even the salon who did something right, you got me, Glenn? Who did something right, who has a small bank account, and maybe they have it with the credit union, and maybe the credit union's not doing it, or maybe their bank opt out of it. So they still want to go someplace else. Well, you're not part of my bank. So this game is going to go back and forth.
So actually what's going to happen is you're going to see businesses that are really businesses will have a chance to survive, and businesses that wasn't started from the ground up properly will not survive.
No. What's going to happen, and we talked about it earlier, which we're going to be doing a seminar on, is again preparing for what's going to happen once the smoke clears. Landlord, mortgage companies, debt collector, everybody is going to be lining up at your door trying to beat you down. You have no job, or the company you went back to, they're paying you less. I mean, the whole world has changed. Your debt collectors don't care because they're hurting. So they will hurt anybody they can at this point to get a dollar out of them. That's the new wave that's coming. And that's going to be big. And that's going to be heavy on minorities. Predatory lending. That's going to be huge. Minorities can't even get access to the bank. All of these other, because I lend money. And I know what predatory lending is about. But when I lend money, I'm making sure I will strip a minority company down and says, okay, can you pay this back? How are you going to make the profit? I'm not just going to give you the money because I need to make some money, because then I ruin your business.
Okay.
The next wave is going to be like hell. And that's what we got to be prepared for, Glenn.
Yes. We just been joined, 917-623. Who are you? And welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Michelle.
Yes, I just finally was able to get on.
Hi, Michelle. How are you? I apologize.
Hi, everybody.
What's one of your questions that you would like to ask?
Well, I just got on, so I was listening to see, what the topic was.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we're talking about general economic development and how do we restart? Given what's going on, how do we restart? And Harry Wells got sick, so that's why he's not on the call. He was scheduled to be on the call today as well. So yeah, so Al, you were saying that a lot of those things are going to be coming into play. We've got to prepare ourselves paperwork wise. We've got to understand what the climate is. We have to understand that there's another round of money coming out for the Paycheck Protection Program, and we have got to make sure that our Black and brown businesses have an opportunity to capture some of that money, and we've got to get the word out. And it's not about playing catch up, but it's about having things in order. And you're going to have your books in order. You're going to have your payroll in order. All of the things that you need as a business, you've got to have it above board and easily accessible. Now, one of the things that I must say is that the process of getting certified has you go through the same kinds of things and same kinds of paperwork that the government is looking for. Your business account, your checking account information, your initial business structure. All of those things are part of when you identify yourself as a MWBE or on the city, state, federal, or Port Authority level. Those are the same kinds of things. So preparing the MWBE is really kind of like like a warm up for what is to come and what you need to have, because the things that they're asking for are going to be the very things that you're going to need to go to the bank if you want to get access to capital and to take your business to the next level.
There's two parts to that, Glenn. A, sure, you're going to the bank to try to get the money, but we're still missing what's happening on the other side. Call if you're a brick and mortar. Email your landlord or whoever's holding the mortgage and start a dialogue, a paper trail, indicating your challenges, what you're able to do, what you're doing. Start the paper trail. You see what I'm doing, Glenn?
Yeah.
Start the paper trail for everybody that you're doing business with that you have to pay. I don't even care if it's Con Edison, cable, whatever it is. The paper trail is going to be important because eventually you're going to need a lawyer.
Now, I understand what you're saying, but there is a lot of corporations. It's not like years ago where you had a landlord, you had the super, you go to the landlord, you go to the super and you say, I'm short a few dollars, lost my job, blah, 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 blah. And all right, Mrs. Jones, you can make it up next month and so forth. You're talking about big corporations. I've lived in corporations where they wouldn't care if you just came out the hospital and you had 5 heart attacks or whatever. I'm just exaggerating, but their reply is, "Where's my money?"
A paper trail, though, you got to remember, you cannot. If you start, it doesn't make a difference what they say. It's how you have the paperwork, because if you have to look at when you go to court, okay, because a lot of people, the courts are gonna be busy. When you go to court, by the time you get to court, it'll be 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, whatever it is, depending what state you're in. You're going to say, Your Honor, and the judge is going to say, here is the paper trail. Here's the several negotiations that we were trying to make with X, Y, and Z. They kept on saying, you have to show this, because the judge is going to say, well, wait a minute, Mr. Smith. Mr. Ray said, here are some of the things. Why can't you work out the terms? So you did work out the terms, but those terms are unfair because he sent you the document on everything. If you don't do that, you're going to be in court. They're going to say, well, what did you do? I did speak with them. Well, what did you say? I told them. Your Honor, we never got a call from them.
So basically what you're saying, everything has to be documented. You have to have all your I's and T's has to be dotted.
Because
it has to be documented, and you got to remember, business is based on relationships.
Yeah.
And you've got to establish, especially in this kind of environment where you can't pay, you've got to at least open up the dialogue and see what's possible. One of the things that has shifted, and you talked about it, Pauline, big banks.
Right.
We used to have the community banks.
Right.
The community bank, you walk up to the corner, he knew you, hey, Mr. Greenwich, how are you? How's the children? How, yada, 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 the whole nine. You can have a conversation with them and say, okay, good. Here's what's going on with me. I'm going to be short for the next, my cash flow is going to be, short for this quarter, but I'll catch you up, and so you negotiate. And so what's acceptable to them? What's acceptable? What can I live with? What can they live with? And you begin that conversation. I think that one of the things that I'm hoping to see out of this conversation is that we begin to go back to a community banking kind of basis where we're in relationship with the people that we're lending money to. Right now, we've got the Community Investment Act, but we're not holding the big banks to come to our community and reinvest in. They're taking our monies and they're taking it to other locations and investing in other communities. We as a group have to have them mandate that they reinvest in our community. Here's where the money is. Why aren't you reinvesting in our community? And those are the kinds of things and the kinds of relationships that we need to reestablish in this restart. Those are the kinds of conversations that are critical for our development. And we said it earlier in the conversation. It's not about looking for somebody else to bail us out. It's about us looking to take care of ourselves. We got the talent, we've got the skills. We may not have the money, but we know how to make money. And that's the key piece, is organizing ourselves. Maybe we've got to do some joint ventures. We've got to do some partnerships. We've got to, just like our world media is looking with the Black Spectrum.
Yes.
It's you're forging conversations and partnerships in areas that you hadn't looked before. That's the adaptability that's going to be needed going forward from this pandemic.
I'd like to take the time to say you're listening to Our World, Our Power, and we can be heard on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, CBTV, which is Caribbean Buzz TV and radio. And please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. Let's continue this conversation.
I want to add with that. I'm actually, because I have contract with a bunch of lenders. I went to one of my biggest lender, and I said, I need access to about $500 million. They said, what do you need it for? I said, I need the money to actually structure a community lending program. So they approved the money for me to actually put together the program. So one of the things that we're doing, I'm trying to bring back, because it's all private money. The banks is different. There's billions of dollars in private money. And money doesn't discriminate if it knows it can make money. Okay? I don't care what anyone says. Not every white person in the world hate black people. I just don't see that. Money is money. And what we're going to do is, with that money, we're actually going to show, after we roll out this program, which Our World's actually, we're going to roll it out on your show. We're going to roll the program out and showing how we're going to use churches and nonprofits to start an LLC and become lenders in the community.
Sounds
You see?
good. That
That's what it is. Because the churches need to make money, but the churches also need to branch off and start running a business, because they run their church like a business. They can also run a business that has nothing to do with the church. And the profit from the business can always support the church. You know how that goes. Okay? So basically, I've learned how to get access to private money, but no one gives it away. But I learned how to get access to that. So that's something that we're going to need, because we're not getting the money from the banks. And to be honest with you, it was about time that we woke up. It's because we always depend on Mama, Papa Bank. Mama, Papa Bank didn't give a damn about us. They didn't in the old days. This is Tulsa, Oklahoma, y'all.
And they just dropped the bomb on us.
And no, this is Tulsa. This is us building back up to what Tulsa, Oklahoma was about. This is our Tulsa, Oklahoma
moment. That's right.
That's what this is. And we need to embrace it, understand it, and build on it. And be honest with each other. I don't have to like you, love you, Glenn, but I will not take food off your table. You follow me?
Yes.
I may argue and fight with you, but I don't have time to stab you in the back, because I stab you in the back and I want to be the top, the top person on the hill. You don't know where I'm going with that. Then it's only a matter of time before they take me off the hill. They would have never been able to get slaves out of Africa if they did not go with another tribe, right? To get rid of the other tribes. So they negotiated with tribes to say, look, you want their territory? Good. I need their products. Help me kill them, get them on the ship. I'll get them out of the way. No problem, boss. We would have never gotten slavery if they didn't negotiate with the other tribes. It's simple. Nothing has changed.
Michelle, are you still there? I guess.
Yes, I'm listening. Yes, I'm clear.
Have some of your questions been answered, or some of your concerns been met?
Well, yeah. I mean, I agree with everything that I've heard. I contacted my bank, which is Bank of America, to deal with the lender that helped me open up my business account, and found out she no longer works there. So now I have to reestablish, and I don't believe I don't have that kind of time now with this new stimulus money that they just passed.
Yes.
So, and then my whole thing is too, I didn't really earn any money last year, so I'm just concerned when they say you have to show that you were in business, which I was. The business was registered, but as far as making money, like I said the last time we spoke, I cannot show that because I didn't make money in January.
Okay.
So you will
With the
have to.
type of,
So Michelle, now, but are you still in a situation? This is Alvin. Are you still in a situation whereby uh, you can generate any type of revenues, or is this 100% stall for you?
it's not 100% stalled, but I needed, like I said, I needed the money so that I could get workers. Because it's a labor type job, and just talking to a person is not going to get them to want to do the type of landscaping work. I need to have, cash on hand to be able to pay.
Well, if Glenn, help me here. If I understand, oh, that's right. She still has to show the track record. Okay. It's because I was speaking with a representative over at Paycheck who we partner with. I think, and don't quote me on the, I think there's where you can actually apply for it. And if you hire people and you keep them on payroll for that 8 weeks, then a certain percentage of that money is forgivable. Okay. Is that
Mhm.
is that true, Glenn?
Yeah, that's accurate.
So let me understand, Michelle. So work with me, Glenn. Make sure I do this right. Here we go. Michelle. So that means if you go out and hire 6 people, right? Because you said if you
Yeah.
if you can hire the workers, you actually could do the job. Did I say that right?
Yeah, but it's a two-pronged thing, and I also need, a couple of dollars so I can get like a truck.
Equipment.
Because what
Yeah.
happened? So I think it's the IDL as well as the advance. Both
So
of them.
Glenn, if at the end of the day, at least the 75% of that could be forgiven if it's going towards employees. Did I say that right, Glenn?
That's correct. You can 75% would be for employee retentions. Correct.
So
So when
Good.
so when
Go
I
ahead.
fill out that, or whenever the president, I guess he signed it. Last I saw that it was signed, it was approved, but I don't believe he signed it. But as soon as he signed it, of course, go online and try to get there. Now, if I don't know. I went online the other day with the SBA, and they had a woman walking us through the different applications.
Okay.
But do you have to? That's what I'm concerned with, because her presentation went quick. She showed, and it wasn't something that you can go back and look at it again. But so if I say yes, I need money to employ 6 laborers, and then I also need money for operational costs, as far as
Right.
equipment. How I'm just
That would that would be, like you said, that would be the idle. So the idle is the piece that's actually for operating budgets, and
Mhm.
so that would be where you'd look for your truck or whatever other equipment that you would need to do all the landscaping that you're looking to do. So
in other words,
you
they're
would.
not saying, okay, you didn't have it last year, so don't look to apply just to get money for the equipment that you need. So they're not going to penalize you if you didn't have that prior to this money being awarded or being put for small businesses.
It depends, and then here's
Mm.
the big the dependency. It's what the bank is willing to do. It always comes down, even with the Paycheck Protection Program. I mean, banks. Let's say if we've got 2 individuals, one clearly can pay back the money, the other one can't. You know which one is going to get the preferential
Yeah.
treatment.
Oh yeah, I've
And
been with this bank since the 80s, 90s. With the
yeah,
same,
so the opportunity is really just to reestablish a relationship with the business banking portion of that branch or that company, so that you are getting the services and the response, because it's all, again, as I said earlier, it's about relationship. And once you're in relationship, then how are you responding? Glenn, listen, this is what I need. Can you help me? What's the best way to do this? Okay.
So when
Well,
I
we
go
have
in
a
with them,
program that can do this.
when I go in to sit down with
Say
them,
again?
I have to take whatever paperwork I had that that I opened the business with, that I registered, put in the newspaper, and then my certification, because I am NWBE certified, so I have to take all that information into them. Correct?
Yeah, I would have that all available. So especially if you're now reestablishing or starting a relationship with someone that you hadn't been in conversation with before, so that they know that you're serious, they know who you are and what you're up to, and of course, again, it's a freebie, but at a small business development center, but a business plan and or projections. Here's what I'm looking to. Here's what I did last year. Here's what I'm looking to do this year. Here's where I'm projecting my business to grow. Here's the potential of it, because you're not just selling what you're doing now, but you're selling the future potential of your business. And so that's what you're asking money for. You're asking for, I've got the potential to be at this point. How can you assist me by access to capital?
In your situation, definitely. I know your business is sculpturing. Can I use the word sculpturing?
No, more like designing, but I need laborers to execute the design.
Yeah, I think I remembered speaking to you. I think you're going to have to, in this particular challenge, in these challenges, you're going to have to diversify yourself just a little bit more, because right now, folks don't even want to come out their house to even do their lawn.
Because whoever had their landscape, because you know what happens, they don't need, if they have you on as a customer for last season, they just automatically come out and just start cutting your grass unless you call them and tell them don't come.
Right.
Yeah,
So they just,
but for right now, you have customers, because you said you have, if you can get the 6 people, there is demand there. And Glenn said, if you can show that the demands are there, then there you go. You're showing potential revenue. So listen, I have over 45 clients that I need to serve right now. Here's the data. Here's a request form, whatever it is. For example, you may call all your customers and say, can you just please, can I send an invoice for you just to sign off on the invoice, or purchase order? Can you send me in a purchase order? That purchase order alone has dollar value. See where I'm going with that, Glenn? That purchase order, you can go to the bank and say, listen, I have a purchase order for the next 3 months or 4 months from these 15 people, and it adds up to X, Y, and Z. I need the employees to fulfill these purchase orders.
Right. Glenn, I
No,
want to. I don't mean
I,
to interrupt you, Michelle, but Glenn, we need to pay the bills right now,
Uh-oh.
and so I would at this time I would like to say thank you to the law firm of Stephen G. James and Associates. He's located at 87-66 Southern Boulevard here in Queens, right across the street from the criminal courthouse. His phone number is 646-905-9000. And of course, my buddy, TMI and Partners, Mr. Alvin Hartley. I would like to say thank you for your sponsorship, and your number is 917-204-1658.
Where did you get that 204 from?
I don't know. It's been there.
Tell Joseph to stop giving out the wrong number.
What is the right number? Tell them. What is the right number?
Now you're going to make me do that commercial again.
Yes, go ahead. You got the time to do it.
Yes, that commercial that's 917-443-8573. Well, that's right. You can call 917-443-8573. Or you can email us direct at info@tmium.com.
See, I willfully messed it up because I wanted to hear your lovely voice say it, you know?
Thank you, Pauline. Back to you, Pauline.
also want to say thank you to Henry's Carrot Cake, and he's located at 159-15 Jamaica Avenue, and he has the best carrot cake in the house. His number is 718-262-8119. So I want to thank my sponsors for continuing to support our World Our Power radio show, and let's continue this conversation. Michelle, sorry to interrupt you. Continue.
No, no, no. I understand because I recognize that there's going to be so many people who may not still get employed, like younger people, that could use employment. So you're saying to reach out. I did reach out to some, and some are like, because they don't know what's going to happen with them in the future. So.
Listen,
25.
listen,
I don't have 45.
market, the job market is going to be pretty wide open, and people are going to be looking for opportunities. And so you just got to position yourself and let them know, that you've got something available, and you're not looking for temporary. You're not looking for day workers. You're looking for folks with a commitment to learn the
Right.
business and stay with you as the business grows. And that's and so so you're going to be in the as they say, a buyer's market when it comes to employees, because there's going to be some businesses that are going to be falling out, and there are going to be people that are available looking for things to do.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I definitely enjoyed our conversation, everybody. And
Before we cut it off, I just want to find out, Mr. Holliger, is there anything else that you'd like to say in closing? Got to take yourself off mute.
You're still trying to put on that muscle shirt.
He might have left the call.
Oh.
Okay.
Really?
Go ahead, Pauline.
Well, everybody, Glenn, how can people reach you if they need any of your services?
They can always call me at 718-291-2110.
Okay. Alvin, repeat your number again.
Oh, that's right, Pauline. If you'd like to reach TMI and partner, you can call 917-443-8573. Once again, that's 917. Let me do it the right way, like Roland Martin's laughing. That's 917-443-8573. Thank you, Pauline. It was a pleasure being on the show. Like you, Glenn. Back to you, Pauline.
Thank you all for listening to Our World of Our Power. Catch us next week. You've been listening to Lady Pauline and the Honorable Mayor of Sutton Boulevard, my partner, Mr. Glenn Greenwich. Thank you all, and catch you next week.